Hi, everyone. It is Tuesday, May 18th, 2021, and my name is Rachel Yang. I am the host and founder of Project We Inspire on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us. We do have a wonderful guest from the other side of the US, and her name is Natalie Kia Yang. But first, I want to just again tell everybody about Project We Inspire. So, our goal is to interview unique individuals that have overcome barriers, obstacles, and are now pursuing their goals, dreams, and passions. And definitely, Natalie Kia Yang is one of those Hmong women, first Hmong women to own a franchise Chick-fil-A restaurant, right? Um,
Yes.
in Virginia. So I believe that this city is called Dumfries, right?
Yes. Yeah. Dumfries, Virginia.
Yes, Dumfries, Virginia. I want to make sure I don't butcher that name. And so it's profited $10 million a year. And so we're going to talk about her story and her journey. So welcome, Kia. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing awesome. And I'm so happy to be here and sharing my story.
Thank you. We are so lucky to have you and all of our guests that have come on Project Inspire to share their journey. And, I hope that our viewers, our youths, our community members will learn a little bit more about, your life story and how you got to where you are today. So let's begin. So I just want to let everybody know that all of our guests sends us a brief bio of their life. And so we're going to start from the beginning. I like that timeline of starting in the beginning. So where were you born, Kia, and what was your childhood like?
Well, I was born in Samtong, Laos.
Mm-hmm.
And so you all know during the war, we all migrated to the U.S. through going through the refugee camp in Thailand and then migrating to the U.S. back in 1979. I was like 9 years old when that happened. And but
Wow.
going backwards to our time as we migrate to the U.S. and living in the refugee camp, I lost my mom when I was 6, and
Mm-hmm.
so I had two siblings. My one of the siblings was 4, and one of the siblings was 8 months old, and so I became the mom for the two of them when I was 6. Our children nowadays are not the same as
Mm-hmm.
us. When we were 6,
Right.
we are the mom, and now we have
Yes.
kids that are 27 and they still like kids.
26, 35, 41. I'm just thinking, I think you guys grew up a lot faster and you guys were
Of
second
course.
moms to your siblings. So I hear
Hmm.
that a lot. So how many siblings do you have total? Because you've shared that you have a lot of siblings.
Yeah, I have 10 siblings and
Mm-hmm.
four sisters, and then seven six brothers. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that my dad, after my mom passed away, he married a middle wife, and then they
Mm,
didn't get along, so they got divorced. And so she took the
mm,
other my other brother with her, and so only
mm-hmm.
9 lives with my new stepmom. Only so she came, and she has 6 with us 3. So there's 9 of us that currently are brothers and sisters that we interact with each
Wow.
other.
That's
Yeah,
definitely a big family. What number were you in the timeline? And were you the oldest, middle, or youngest child?
I am the oldest. That's why I am the mom for
Wow.
the rest of the gang.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I am the oldest of 6 kids, so I definitely can relate to that. You do take care of all your siblings and do a lot of things. So I just want to say hi to Jeannie. She says, "Welcome, Kia, to you."
Thank you, Jeannie.
And so, again, anybody who would like to make a shout out, let us know where you're from. Say hello to Kia. Have questions for Kia. You guys are welcome to, write your questions, and we will, try to answer as much as we can as we go. Okay. All right. So you said you migrated to the U.S. and
Hmm.
how old are you again? And what year was that?
So I was, it was 1979. I was 9 years old. and
Mhm.
we migrated to Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh,
And so,
wow.
yeah, there was a lot of Hmong people at the time that was migrating to Rhode Island because we had like a lot of sponsors in that area.
Hmm.
So it's hard, you know, back in those days, you don't
Yeah.
know anything. You remember,
Yeah.
well, you wouldn't know because you were born here, but for us
Yeah.
older
I was 4
people,
years older by heard.
when we were at that age and we migrated to a new country, the culture shock was really bad. And you
Hmm.
know, I remember going to school, and the teacher asked me, "Hey, are you hungry?" Nope. Do you need to go to the bathroom? Nope. But then all of a sudden, you'll be running to the bathroom.
Oh my goodness. I mean, coming here in the 71, I've heard that people came in the early 70s and mid 70s had a harder time than like my parents came in the winter of 79 and had me in 80. So the ones that came in the mid 70s and the early 70s definitely struggled with the language barrier
Mm-hmm.
and the cultural right adaptation to the US. So,
Right.
I can only imagine what it was like to come here in 71 and being totally new to this whole new world. So I just want to say, Howard says hello, Kia from South Carolina.
Hi, Howard.
And then Red is, he says, hello, Kia and Rachel, watching from Washington State. And he says he loves Chick-fil-A. So,
Oh,
oh,
awesome.
so
Well, when
go
you ever in
Chick-fil-A.
the DC, Virginia area, come by.
Yep. And for those of you who don't know, I'm not stalking you, Kia, but I have looked up your information of, where your Chick-fil-A is located. So if people want to know, where her Chick-fil-A is located, you can just, Google it and it'll show her as the owner and it'll give you an address. So if you're wondering, does Kia have a Chick-fil-A in Dumfries, Virginia? Yes, she does. I checked too. Okay. So if you guys ever want to go by and visit, give her a shout out. All
Just
right.
look it
So
up.
in your
I'm all over
yeah,
Google.
that's right, you are. So you mentioned like in your bio too, Kia, that at a young age you were at 17 years old, you were had arranged marriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in that era too, where several of my friends' cousins, female cousins' friends were, arranged to get married. And so, not many women and not many people like to talk about their arranged marriages. If you
Mm-hmm.
could please share with us, how was that like being in an arranged marriage at such a young age, and how did that impact you, as an adult or a person?
Well, being in an arranged marriage is very, very, very hard. Um, Especially at that time, you know, at that time, you didn't think about getting married. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
think, oh, I have a whole life ahead of me. I can go to school and be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And especially being the first child, the oldest child, your parent expects you to be the role model for your siblings. And
Absolutely.
so, you know, in the Asian culture, they believe that if the oldest is ruined, then the rest of the children will be ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a very hard um, challenge from my parents to for me to be a good person, for me to be the best that I can be, so my sibling would follow in my footsteps. So it's a big foot to fill, and it's very, very hard.
Mm.
And I do the best I can. So at that time, back in 1987, February 8th, 1987, is when I was arranged to be married, and didn't really know my husband.
Yeah, I was gonna
Uh,
ask you, did you know him? Did you see him once before? How did it happen?
well,
How did it,
actually, we
what
live in the
happened?
same town.
Okay.
We live in the same town, and I know of him.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how back in the days when we don't date, you know that, right?
Right, right.
It's just courting. They would come to the
Mm-hmm.
house on the weekend and sit with you and your parent, and you would talk about life. That your parent
Mm-hmm.
would, interrogate them, who their
Exactly.
parents are, who their grandparents are, and the
Mm-hmm.
whole nine yard.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the days, I didn't really get to date. So, but I do have a few people that come and court me. But my husband was not one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
but he did come one time, like a couple of years, but he took his cousins too. So I didn't even know he was interested. And then, like right before he wanted to ask my hand in marriage, he came and visit me at my high school. And back in the days, being being friendly and being nice.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked me, "Hey, so if I want to marry you, or if anybody wants to marry you,
Mm-hmm.
would you marry them?"
Mm-hmm.
And just being nice, we always say, "Sure." I'm such I'm not pretty, how we always, our parent always taught us to be humble. Whether
Right.
you are pretty or not, you're supposed to say, "Hey, I'm not pretty, I'm
Mm-hmm.
ugly." It would be,
Mm-hmm.
I would be so
Mm-hmm.
lucky if somebody should ask me to be married, right? And
Right.
and so my husband took that as a yes. And then
Mm-hmm.
he said, "So if
Wow.
anybody was gonna marry you, you know what what can they do to marry you?" I said, "This is America. If anybody would give me a ring, if
Wow.
anybody would give me a ring, uh, I would marry him, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
2 days later, he stopped by my school and he says, "Hey, I want to talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, so what's up?" "I just got something for you." And he just put it in
Mm.
my hand and left.
Wow.
And I he left, and I opened the package up. I'm like, "Oh, it's a ring." I'm like, "What is this
Wow.
for?" Right? I don't know his
A diamond
number.
ring? Was it
It was a
a,
wedding band.
a wedding band? Oh,
You, you
wow.
know, Hmong people has the gold,
Mm.
plain gold wedding band, the
Right, right,
24
right.
karat gold wedding band.
Mm-hmm.
He gave it to me. He gave that to
Wow.
me on Wednesday, and then Friday night they came
Mm-hmm.
and asked for my hand in marriage.
Wow. And you were 17 years old. What, a junior or a senior in high
A
school?
junior,
A
a
junior
junior in
in
high
high
school,
school.
a junior in high
So
school.
he saw you that week, came by on a Wednesday, gave you a ring, didn't say anything to you, came on a Friday night to your house and said to your parents that he wanted to marry you.
Yeah,
How did you take that? I mean, being 17. I mean, I remember when I was 17. Um, were you okay with that? Were you shocked? I mean, what was going through your mind and heart
I
during
mean,
the time?
I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
I All I feel was like I'm scared. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, all these Hmong people just come to my house, and
Mm-hmm.
they get all just sitting down. And my parent came home, and they all at my house, and they
Mm-hmm.
said they want to marry me. And my dad said,
Mm-hmm.
"I don't want to talk to you guys. You guys have to go get my dad."
Oh.
And then they said, "Well,
Oh.
where's your dad? Where's my grandfather?" And they
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Oh, her grandfather is at the Greyhound." Because back in the days they had like dog race. So
Mm.
my grandfather liked to dog race. So he would
Mm.
go and bet. And so he's over there. So they said, "Okay." So they sent someone over there to go get my grandfather. When they got
Mm-hmm.
there, my grandfather said, "I'm too busy. Y'all have to come back tomorrow. You guys have to come back tomorrow." And then
Mm-hmm.
they put the umbrella. You know how Hmong
Mm-hmm.
tradition is. They put the umbrella in my house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then one of the guys that was courting me happened to call, and my mom told him, "Hey, you keep courting her. You didn't marry her, so now somebody wants to marry her." And then he
Oh.
jumped over the fence, and he came over, and we talked about, he said, "I want to marry you. I'm just waiting until I finish college, which is that summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to ask you to marry me." He said,
Oh.
so we kind of brainstorm and said, he said, you just have to say this and say that, and maybe you will get off, right? And so the next day they came back, and I keep telling, no, I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to marry him. I don't know him,
Mm.
maybe, he likes me, but I don't really like
Mm-hmm.
him. I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that I don't like him. It's just that, you don't know someone. So how do you love someone and go marry
Mm-hmm.
someone?
How much
So
older? How
he was,
right?
I believe he was 7 years older than me. He
That's
was
so
20.
true. I was gonna
I
say,
think he was
Natalie
20
nerve you. He was how old was
something.
he?
Yeah, it's very, very hard. So anyway, so
Oh wow.
they
So you were 17.
all
So
they
he
called
was
my whole
what,
clan. They
26?
Huh? Yeah, he was like
Around?
26, I think, when he married me, and I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was a big age difference.
Mm.
And he's very, very traditional, Hmong traditional. So he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have any Americanized in his bone at the time I married him. And
Yeah.
and and so they came. It
Mm.
took them like almost 24 hours to ask for my hand in marriage. And at the end, my parents told them she doesn't want to marry you guys.
Mm-hmm.
She keeps saying she doesn't want to marry you guys. And so they came back and said, well, she said
Mm-hmm.
that, but she already said yes, that she'll marry us, and she has accepted our token
Mm.
of marriage. And then they said, so my parents said,
Oh.
what is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Cái họ
Right?
nhớ nhớ thì tới không lo mà là mấy họ khổng có mà lại có tộc khổng chứ có chủ yếu sao vậy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, of course, of course. Because有個專業嚟嘅，你蒙下又要你要知道係，啲要擺入嚟係，我哋第一知啦係，個專業嚟就嘅，個人設制可講嚟，但有
yeah.
個制啦那嘅，你冇
Thì
看到
cái
係
tổ
到
tổ
啲個
xe
有，
อยู่hả? Yeah,
有個就需
yeah,
要幾齊到啲個制個樓天啊，個人嘢嚟做
yeah.
啊
Yep.
，so oh my goodness,
Thì
so you
nói
did
thiệt.
take that ring. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said that you took the ring, so you have accepted the ring, so now you have to marry them. And back in the days, they talk about, okay, if they give us face, honor, then you just go marry that person because that will be a good person for you. Lỡ tôi
Mm-hmm.
hay có á, bé tông chơi tông một bé một cũng muốn bé bây giờ. Chị có chủ
Yeah.
yếu là bé thích chỉ xem chứ mua bây giờ. Instead of
Mm-hmm.
you running off with some punk, well, at the day they call it punk, but nowadays I guess they call it gangster.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
Yeah,
that talk.
yeah.
Oh
And
wow.
so, yeah, so I was given that talk. I said, just marry. If we approve, just marry. And
Mm-hmm.
he's not a bad looking guy. He seems like a nice guy. And so, yeah, so that's the rest is
That's
history. I got
wow.
married to him, and it was very hard the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Every day that the first 6 months that I married
Mm-hmm.
him, every day he would take me to school, and every time we would drive by a stonemason, like the memorial stone,
Mm-hmm.
and I would always tell him, if I die, that's the stone I want on my grave.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, what
yeah.
made you say that at such a young age and being married so early? I mean, because you were unhappy? Were you feeling uncomfortable?
Well, but the thing about it is that I was sad that
Mm,
he was not the one I chose.
mm,
And it was given to me. And so I was just not, it's just weird that it's not that I'm not connecting with him at the time.
mm, mm-hmm,
And then moving into a strange family. And back in the days, white Hmong and green Hmong,
mm-hmm.
you don't like each other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah.
nowadays they still have a little of that, but not as
Mm-hmm,
much. But
mm-hmm,
when I first got married,
mm-hmm,
they didn't like me because I was white, and
mm,
they're green Hmong, and
mm-hmm,
so they didn't like me at all. The parent didn't like
mm-hmm,
me. His
mm-hmm,
his brothers and sister-in-law, they didn't like me,
mm.
and so it was a very, very tough life for me. And so my husband said, just be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Just ignore whatever they say, whatever
Mm-hmm.
gossip. Just
Mm-hmm.
ignore. Your life is not with them; it's with
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm.
It's just ignore them. It's not gonna kill you. It's not like a boil that is gonna pop and you're gonna die. It's not.
Mm.
You just be patient. You know. Cho con
Wow.
mong mà mong là lùi tia có u
Mm.
nè, u chỉ
Yeah.
qua lùi trừ lùi ở dù chỉ tua nè. You
Mm.
know,
Mm. Mm.
and so có u sữa. And
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, I've done that my whole life.
Right. I was gonna say that is a very classic piece of advice that you know, your parents or family members and uncles when you do get married is they definitely tell you as a future daughter-in-law, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is to washende and go because you have to go and marry the husband's family, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you yomongda. And I can relate to that, you know, because you know, I was married to a Green Hmong you know, family and husband. And it is very, you know, different, even though the
Yeah.
accent's different. And I think with people who are not familiar with, you know, the green and white Hmong cultural practices,
Mm-hmm.
there were very different rules, very different, you know, some words are very different, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
way that they use. And I think one of the first ones I learned was "tu tia," is it in Jala?
Yeah. To
So,
to khó bé một đôi chỉ bé hùa to, right? But
right,
then like more like chỉ là hùa jana. And
right, right.
so I mean, but luckily my stepmom, she is
Mm-hmm,
green. So whenever she lived with us since I was 9. So she speaks mostly green Hmong. So I've learned a lot. So I didn't have that problem. When I went to
oh,
live with them, I
oh.
already know how to speak green Hmong, but they still didn't like the
Oh,
fact that I am a true white Hmong.
right, right.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, you know, you now are married and you're coming of age to become 18. Um, you are now, you know, going into your adulthood. Um, what were your plans? I know this wasn't part of some of the questions I asked, but I'm curious. So what did you and your husband decide to do? Because, you know, when you turn 18 and, you know, he's of course finishing college now, um, what do you guys plan to do? Because I do see that you shared here that you have 5 children, 4 girls and a boy, and you became a parent, and you know you also are striving to become an entrepreneur, and you know, so I'm curious. In between there, how did you guys develop your relationship, especially being in an arranged marriage, you know, such as yours, and how did that also impact you in becoming an adult? Because that's a very, you know, uncommon way to in America, that is, um, to grow up in an arranged marriage, being 18, and then you want to pursue, right, a business or, you know, be a parent. So
Mm-hmm.
how was that like? What was that like?
I think that what bonded us was after we got married for a couple of months, his parent asked us, "Are you guys gonna have children?" We're like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
not yet because I'm still in school and we don't want to have any yet." And so you know, Hmong people, the in-laws, they always lecture you like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have it, you're gonna be sterile. They're not gonna be able to have
Mm-hmm.
children, you know. And so
True.
we have our brother-in-law and sister-in-law. They were married for a long time and they couldn't have children because they were
Mm-hmm.
waiting. And then when they
Mm-hmm.
were ready, they couldn't have
Mm-hmm.
children. And so my in-law was yelling at us and said, "Hey, you're gonna be just like them if you don't have one." And to
Mm-hmm.
see if even if you were able to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And so my husband and I talked over, and he said, "You know what? Maybe we should have one." And even though you know at the time we not bonding yet, but
Mm-hmm.
after our child, we
Mm-hmm.
start to bond a little bit because you know I think the children brings us together.
Mm.
And then I've learned that he's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
He would he would help me get up, feed the baby,
Mm-hmm.
and then we will alternate, but then he would do most of the you know taking care of the baby for the
Mm-hmm.
first month. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's he's really good. And
Mm-hmm.
even though you know in the Hmong culture they didn't
Mm-hmm.
believe, they feel that everybody should have a boy,
Mm-hmm.
not girls, right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And and so that to have a boy to carry on the name and the
Mm-hmm.
legacy, and I have a girl,
Mm.
and the first child was a girl, and
Yeah.
his some of his family said, "Oh wow, they have a they have a girl." And he
Mm-hmm.
loved that girl so much. Like,
Oh.
it's not even a boy, right? But the thing
Mm-hmm.
about it is, they don't understand whether if it's a boy or a girl, it's
Mm-hmm.
our child. And
Right.
so I think that because of us helping raise our daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we start to bond, and you learn
Mm-hmm.
how to be friend first,
Mm-hmm.
and then you learn to love each other. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's a very strong different type of love that we have, than
Mm.
girlfriend and boyfriend love. I think that
Right.
our love is totally different. And he helped me, and I helped him. And then, in the Hmong culture, if your husband help you, then they all yell at you like,
Yeah.
"Oh, tu ni tu chỉ nát tia se ni nát chỉ se ni one night se tu
Mm-hmm.
chỉ okay."
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Right.
I'm like, wow, I didn't never think it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought that, we're Americanized and we should be able to help each other 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But in the Hmong culture, they think that when your husband help you, then that means you're the one who's wearing the pants and your husband's the one who's wearing the skirt. But
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't work that way. For us, I think that we love each other and we
Mm-hmm.
help each other, because I didn't tell his story, but his mom died when he was 2. And so
Mm.
he has a stepmom as well. And so the
Mm-hmm.
both of us were motherless. And I
Mm.
think that's a similarity for
Mm-hmm.
us, that we
Mm-hmm.
experience that together and how our life is. And I think that's how we bond, and
Mm-hmm.
with as we go and start having children. But
Mm-hmm.
while I was pregnant with my first child,
Mm-hmm.
it was very hard, because I had to
Mm-hmm.
get up and go to school. And then Hmong culture, as a daughter-in-law, you have to get up early, you have to cook, you have
Mm-hmm.
to,
Right.
go to everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
before you go to school. And that was
Mm-hmm.
a lot. And then, because I was white Hmong, if I get up to go and clean and
Mm-hmm.
cook, and then I get
Mm-hmm.
yelled at, like, why do
Mm-hmm.
you, so disrespectful? Why did you get up so early to make so much noise? We can't sleep. And
Mm.
then after a while, I was very hurt. And then after a while, I
Mm.
decided, you know what? Never mind. I'm not going to cook, and I'm not going to get up and clean. And then they
Mm.
yell at you. Oh,
Yeah.
such a lazy daughter-in-law. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't want to cook. She doesn't want to
Mm-hmm.
clean. She doesn't get up and cook and clean. She just leaves to go to school. And I was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
damned if I do, and I'm damned if I don't.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it was so hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I decided, you know what? This is hard. I'm just gonna quit, and I'm
Mm.
just gonna quit going to high school. I'm just gonna go register for GED. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna take my test, and I'm just gonna go to college. And that's
Mm.
what I did. So while I was
Wow.
pregnant, I dropped out of high school. I
Mm-hmm.
went into to take my GED. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
when I went to take GED, I overheard that, the family said
Mm.
she would never get her degree.
Mm. Wow.
I'm a
That's
person
very
that,
hurtful.
yeah, when someone hurt me like that, I turn
Mm-hmm.
that hurt
Mm-hmm.
into something positive.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is a challenge. When you
Mm-hmm.
tell me I can't do it, and I will not able to get it, I will prove
Mm-hmm.
to you that
Mm-hmm.
I will get it. And I did.
Yeah.
And and I did. And I when I got
Wow.
it, I invited everyone to go with me to my graduation, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to, and just me and my husband. And then
Mm.
after that, I went to the community college of Rhode Island. And I
Mm-hmm.
took class. Hmong people, I just don't understand. Like, there's so many other avenue of career, right? But they
Mm-hmm.
always
Mm-hmm.
says you have to be a nurse, a doctor,
Yeah.
or a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the only thing that they always tell you, you know. And I'm like,
Right.
okay. So I went for nursing degree. So I took
Mm-hmm.
all the core classes and waiting to get
Mm-hmm.
into the clinical program. Well, there
How
were
old were
so
you?
many.
How old? If you don't mind me asking, how old were you at this point when you decided to drop out of high school? Were you still 17 and then now 18, turning 18, and then you, because that's very brave. I just want to let everybody know who's viewing this is it's really difficult to go through school when you are married. I've heard this story many times, and then it's also even harder when you have expectations uh in your with your in-laws, and then being a mom too, and then being a wife, and trying to live up to all these expectations and not really knowing really who you are at such a young age. But you made this
Mm-hmm,
conscious decision, like, I'm gonna go get my GD, I'm gonna go to college, and I'm gonna make something of myself. Of course, you signed up to do the traditional nursing, right?
mm-hmm.
Like what most parents wanted. um what did you think, I mean, what did you think of yourself then, and how do you, when you look back now, what how do you like see yourself now?
Well, sometimes I think about that phase of my life. It still brings tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And because at the time, my my in-law tells me, do you know that did you marry my son for money?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no. Why would I
Mm-hmm.
marry your son for money? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
your son don't have nothing. Why would
Mm-hmm.
why would I marry your son for money?
Right.
And I said, maybe you guys marry me for money. Because back in the days
Mm-hmm.
when I married my husband, I
Mm-hmm.
brought $8,000 back in the
That's a
80s.
lot of money in the 80s. Wow.
Yeah. And so when they told me that I married my husband for money, I'm like, I don't know if you guys marry me for money or if I marry your son for money. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
much money your son has, but when you guys
Yeah.
marry me, I have $8,000.
Wow. Way to go, Kia. You tell them.
Oh, I was reprimanded for
Wow.
that. My
Wow.
father-in-law yelled at me like,
Oh
"You have
no.
the what a bad daughter-in-law. Why
Yeah.
would you even argue with your mother-in-law?"
Oh gosh.
I mean, hey, I was 17. I don't know any
Right.
better.
Right. Right. I was going to say, you were so young and you wanted to have confidence in yourself, and you wanted to show them that you had value, and to say you had $8,000 in your name, and that's huge when you're only 17, and back in the 70s, right? That's a lot of money. It's still a lot of money, I think. But wow, yeah, I can feel your struggle, because like I said, I've heard many stories, and I went to college when I was I finished my bachelor's, but I went and got my master's while I was being married. I was married too, and it is definitely hard being a woman, going to college, pursuing your dreams, and wanting to make those you know decisions of educating yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and then being questioned about your value, and then being questioned that you're marrying them for money when they don't have any money.
Right.
And so I think that sometimes makes you question a lot of things by yourself. But I'm just so amazed because you own a Chick-fil-A that has a profit of $10 million, millions of dollars, right? And I'm curious now, and I don't want to move too much here now in the current time, but I do want to acknowledge that time when you were going through college, the nursing degree. Uh, what was the turning point when you realized that maybe that you were going to be a businesswoman, you were going to be an entrepreneur?
Well, so while I was waiting to get into the clinical program, um,
Mm-hmm.
well, at this time, I'm going to school full time and I'm working full time
Mm-hmm.
night. And so
Wow.
so I went to talk to the HR. I said, while
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting, if I take business classes and computer classes, would you guys help me pay for it? And they said, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. If you take some computer classes, and we can get you into the analyst uh,
Mm-hmm.
job, then
Mm-hmm.
you could do some analyst transferring customers' information to our system. Then yeah, more than likely, yeah, we'll pay for it. And then plus, as long as you work for us, like at least a year after you graduate, right? And so I started taking computer classes, and while I wait, and I went to the University of Rhode Island and took some
Mm-hmm.
classes there.
Mm-hmm.
After I've done a lot of the computer classes, and then during that time, I already have one child, and I'm like, and I always go visit my families. They always, some people are sick and going to the hospital. I'm like, I just don't like this smell at the hospital. I don't
Mm.
think I can continue with my nursing degree, you know? And
Yeah.
it's like, and plus, whenever you walk down the hallway of a hospital, it smells bad, and I get chills behind my
Mm-hmm.
back. And I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, so many people die in hospitals, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a scaredy cat. I don't think I can be a nurse and then, running a shift by myself, and there's
Mm-hmm.
nobody, at night, there's nobody walking the
Mm-hmm.
hallway. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed, and my job. I
Mm-hmm.
started to do computer stuff for my job, being
Mm-hmm.
analyst for my job.
Mm-hmm.
So they pay for all my classes. And then, but the whole time I'm thinking, what can I do
Mm-hmm.
to be successful in life? The only people that are successful are people who own their own business.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to work for someone, then they're never going to appreciate who I am, because I worked for Blue Cross Blue
Mm-hmm.
Shield for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, they didn't give me no money. Like every year, you would get performance review, and you would get commendable review, but they only give you like 50 cents
Mm-hmm.
raise. And I'm like, that's not
Mm-hmm.
right. And then the girl that you trained that
Mm-hmm.
just came in, and you train that person,
Mm-hmm.
she get more money than you. And I'm like, this is not right. So
Right.
I actually, before I left Blue Cross Blue Shield, um,
Mm-hmm.
while I was going to move to Georgia anyway, but when I left, I wrote my manager a note. I told him
Mm-hmm.
that he doesn't appreciate me,
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't value who I am. And
Mm-hmm.
all the time I work for him, and I'm his top trainers, and I trained most of the people that came after me, and they all make more money than me. And even though I got commendable and they got commendable, they got
Mm-hmm.
more race money than I do. And
Mm-hmm.
of course, we're not supposed to talk about the money we get, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't help but hear when they talk behind on the partition next to you.
Of course. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And so you overheard, and it's very hurtful
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel valued, and you
Mm-hmm.
feel like you've been stepped on and not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wrote him a letter that I am going to go and own my own business one day, and I'm going
Wow.
to be a millionaire, and I'm going to come buy Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Wow. You're bold. Cute. You're very bold.
I was very hurt.
Yeah, you were hurt. You're bold at the same time. That's a very brave move. Um,
And
wow. And
so,
you really wrote that letter and you handed it over to the
yeah,
manager, the supervisor.
yep.
Wow.
And I gave it to him, and I said, this is my 2 weeks notice.
What a 2 weeks notice.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. So that's when you said, I'm done working in, an agency, company, corporation. You were going to own your own business and you were determined to become, a millionaire and be your own boss. And you were done with the 50 cents raise and then also working, like you said, training people. And then they were you would overhear them making more money than you. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this or have gone through this can relate. And I've done the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. I've had jobs where you be the top person, you train everybody, you help the whole program, you help everything get established. And at the end of the day, they get paid more than you, or they get
Yeah.
moved to higher positions, and you
Mm-hmm.
remain in the same positions, and you don't go anywhere. So wow, that's amazing. That's a really unique 2-week notice. I really like that story. And so wow. So when you wrote that notice, you left, and then when did you find Chick-fil-A? And I'm curious because I was writing some of my question as an owner, or I mean, how is that you get into even knowing what Chick-fil-A was? Because I didn't really know what Chick-fil-A know your business. So what started all of that?
Well, actually, so at that time, so my husband and I moved to Georgia,
Mm-hmm,
and I worked for United Healthcare down there, writing simple mapping program to extract customers' information into our United Healthcare system. And I worked for them
mm-hmm,
for 4 years, and then they decided to downsize my job. But before I moved down there, during the time that I wrote the letter to my boss,
mm-hmm,
I said, I'm going to open a hair salon. So
mm,
I decided not to finish college, and so I went on a different route. I went to Loretta
mm-hmm,
School of Cosmetologist College, and then I
mm-hmm,
took cosmetology,
mm-hmm.
and I got
Wow.
certified. Yeah, so I got certified, and then I was going to open a salon. And then when I moved to Georgia, I have an aunt who owned a salon, and
Mm-hmm,
so while I was working for United Healthcare, I worked with her too to see if that would be my passion or if I
mm-hmm,
liked doing it. So I worked with her like about a year, and then I'm like, this is not the life I envisioned for myself. I
mm,
can't
mm,
be cutting my knuckle every day at work.
mm.
And can't
Right,
be
right.
cleaning somebody's toes every day.
Mm-hmm,
Um, that's not me. I want a job. I want some a life that I can enjoy and
mm-hmm,
go somewhere and still make money. And so
mm-hmm,
when they in 2000, they United Healthcare had downsized my job. They moved my job to Hauppauge, New York, and Plano, Texas. And
mm-hmm,
so I they asked me, "Hey, how about you transition
mm-hmm.
into the claims department and you can work remotely from home?" I'm like, "I'm not a person who can stay home. So, can you just
Yeah.
give me a severance package?" Because at that time my brain
Yeah.
is already running like, if they give me a severance package, I'm not going to ever work for
Mm-hmm,
another person again. I'm going to work for myself
mm-hmm,
because that's the
mm-hmm,
only way I'm going to value myself, because
mm-hmm,
nobody's going to value me as much as I do. And said,
mm-hmm.
I think it's about time that I do something that I'm passionate about.
Right.
So I got into the food industry. So
Mm,
I went. One of my nephew asked me to go help him because he opened a sushi bar, and he has asked me to go help him. Well, you know
mm-hmm.
what? We only make sushi at home to eat. We've never
Right.
made sushi to sell. And so I went to help him at his restaurant. It was a franchise, and
Mm-hmm.
the district manager came in and he saw me, and I was really fast, and I knew how to do all, just by looking at the picture, I knew how to make all the sushi. And he
Mm-hmm.
says, how did you know how to make sushi? I'm like, well, we
Mm-hmm.
eat sushi at home, so I make it. And he goes, and you make it so good. Have you ever thought
Mm-hmm.
of opening up sushi restaurant, a sushi bar? I'm like, no. He said, because if you want one, I could probably get you one if you want a franchise
Wow.
one. Yeah. And so
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I want one. And then he said, okay, let me look for a place
Mm-hmm.
and I'll give you a call. And 2 weeks later, he gave
Mm-hmm.
me a call. He said, I found your sushi bar location. And
Wow.
he says, normally, anyone who get our franchise, they have to go to
Mm-hmm.
California and
Mm-hmm.
then learn how to make sushi for a week and then get it certified and then open a restaurant. But you don't have to do that because you already know how to
You know
do
how
it.
to make,
You know
yeah,
how,
you know how to make it already.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So I've never
And
had to
how old
go
were you
to
at?
training.
That's amazing. That's a great story. How old were you when you were making sushi from pictures? I mean, I can't make much from pictures, but
Well,
wow, that's so amazing. How old were
when you
you?
look at the pictures, it has what it looks like, whatever is in there. And if you see the ingredient, you just put those ingredients and then it start rolling.
You know, maybe one of these days I'll make a sushi roll from the picture. You'll make it, and then we'll see how ours turn out because I think mine will look pretty funny. How old were you at this point? Were you in your 20s, in mid 20s or late
I'm
20s?
I think at that time I'm like in my 30s, my late
30s.
20s, going towards
Mm-hmm.
30. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Wow.
so after I opened one, they
Mm-hmm.
really liked me, so they opened a
Mm-hmm.
second one for me. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing.
and so because I do so well,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the people that I've trained, they
Mm-hmm.
actually get sushi, their own sushi bar as well. So my
Wow.
husband's cousin,
Mm-hmm.
they all end up getting sushi bars from themselves as well. So
That's
it's
so awesome. So you started out with one, you got a second one, you were training you said your brother, your
yeah, like
husband's
we're training family members.
family members. Wow.
Yeah.
And then they were getting so good, or they became really good at making sushi as well. And then they were also offered to have their own sushi
Yes.
bar. So
Yeah. So
you were, it sounds like you are just a natural trainer. Like you can teach, naturally. And that was like your niche. That's what it sounds like, because it's not every day you can find somebody who can right, be self-taught how to make food
mhm,
and then teach others to the point where they're owning their own, right, restaurant.
yeah.
That's amazing. It doesn't happen every day. And so you're giving these opportunities only for yourself but for your husband's family.
hmm
um I'm curious now, like, this is all sushi talk right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So they were able to, I asked their district manager and we're able to get a lot of sushi, a few sushi for the family members. And it was really great. It was really great. He really liked me. He know that if I train them, then they will be great like me as well. So
Mhm.
it turned out to be like all the
Wow.
families doing sushi, and yeah, so it was great. So a lot of the family moved to
So
Georgia
that's
to open
amazing.
sushi bars.
Wow. I is it still, are the sushi bars still there in Georgia?
It is still there, but when I sold
Mhm.
mine, so the people who bought mine, they still there, and my other
Oh,
families, they
wow.
no longer do it because what my husband's cousin, well,
Mhm.
in Hmong they call sister, because
Mhm.
nếu
Mhm.
tu cứ yêu họ của tu husband là ti yêu sa. So we
Mm.
opened one for her. Her husband passed away
Mhm.
a couple of years
Mhm.
ago, and so
Yeah.
her kids doesn't want her to do it, and so she just finally retired from last year. She sold it last
Oh,
year.
wow.
Yeah, and then
Wow.
his other cousin, they sold theirs because they wanted to move to another area of Georgia, so they sold
Mhm.
theirs too. And right now, there's only one family, Yang family, that still own their sushi bar, but the rest
Wow.
they all sold it. They all
Yeah.
retired.
But that
Yeah.
must have been such a great experience to start your own sushi business and then own a second one and then teach your family members, your husband's family members, and then to have everybody own their own business.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the American dream,
Yeah,
to
it is.
be your own boss, right? And to make good money. So I have here, Red is asking a question. He says, I love your journey. do you feel like all your experiences have helped you get to where you are today? That's the first question. And two, or do you wish you could have skipped some parts of your work career?
Well, I think that if I had to do all over again, I'd do the same thing all over again, because I think that everything that happens to me and everything that I've done along the way, it makes me who I am today. That
Mm-hmm.
defines me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I definitely would say so too, after hearing your journey. And then Vans Leo says, thanks for sharing your story.
My pleasure.
And so, when did you decide to transition from the sushi bar to Chick-fil-A? Who, or what happened during that time?
Well, while I was making sushi
Mm-hmm.
at the sushi bar, my husband all of a sudden,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 2000. Let me see, what was it? Two, I was 6 years into the sushi business, and then
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
husband goes, "Hey, I wanted 6 children.
Wow.
What happened? We never had 6 children. We only had three, at the time." And
Wow.
at that time, my son was already like 10 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and so we like, okay, let's even with the business as busy as we are, let's try to have another child.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I was so busy and I guess I never took care of myself. I was always lifting heavy stuff and doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And
Mm-hmm.
my husband, because it's my business, so my husband still keeps his business, his job too. So
Mm-hmm.
he works at a different job, and then I run the sushi bar, and I just hire people to work with me. And so during that time, during that pregnancy, um, something happened,
Mm.
and my baby didn't grow.
Oh.
That was our fourth child. She didn't grow, and so when she turned 5.5 months, the doctor
Mm-hmm.
put me in bed rest.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we just hired people to run the sushi bar. And
Mm-hmm.
then I was in a hospital for um, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, almost a month. And when I was 6 months, my baby was born,
Mm-hmm.
and my baby passed away. And
Mm.
so it was a very tough time
Oh,
for me
sorry to
at
hear.
that time. Yeah, it was very,
Mm-hmm.
very tough. You can't imagine a person go and have a child and come home empty-handed. And so I was pretty stressed and pretty depressed for
Mm-hmm.
um, almost a year. Then I told my husband, "Hey,
Mm-hmm.
um, I just need to have another child." My husband said, "No, the doctor says we're risking." I said, "No, but
Mm-hmm.
I just need someone to fill this void." And then he
Mm-hmm.
said, so I finally convinced him. And so
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess in a way, maybe it's God's blessing for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I got pregnant with my baby now, my fifth child.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was born prematurely too,
Mm-hmm.
but but because what happened the prior pregnancy, my doctor had given me all the precaution injections and
Mm-hmm.
medications, so that in case she was born early, her lung would be ready, her heart would be ready,
Mm-hmm.
well developed. And so she was born early as well, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
She was only 4 pound
Wow.
10 ounce, and she had to stay
Wow.
in NICU
Mm-hmm.
while we go home. But now she is taller than me.
Wow.
She's the tallest one of all of us, and
Really?
yeah, and that's why my other daughter goes, "Mom, she's the tallest because they give her steroid when she was a baby."
I was gonna say, I I bet like the kids and people will be like, "What happened there?" They probably gave her some special medications when she was in the NICU.
Yeah, yeah.
How tall is she now? How is she doing?
Well, my husband is 5'3".
Mm-hmm.
I'm 5'2".
Mm-hmm.
My son, I think he's like 5'3" or 5'4". And then my other daughter, she's 5'4", and my other daughter, she's 5'3", and this one, I think she's 5'5".
5'5". Okay.
She's taller
That's
than
still
her
tall
dad, and
for,
she's taller than me.
yeah. So I was gonna say that's actually tall for a Hmong girl. If you're 5'4", 5'5", and up, 5'7", 5'8", I mean that's pretty tall. Usually it's what, 4'11", 5'1" ish, you know.
Yeah, 4'11" is
But
like
wow, I'm
the
so glad to
normal.
hear. Yeah, 4'11", you know. So I'm so happy to hear that, despite, that she was born premature, and you guys went through all the loss of your other baby,
Hmm.
that you guys continued, and you made the choice to continue too. It's so hard. I mean, I can't even imagine losing a child and then wanting to, have another child and then go through all those risks. But luckily, like you
Hmm.
said, that the doctor was very aware and knew what happened, the previous time before. So, I'm so glad that it worked out, and now that you have your 5 children, um, it's definitely a blessing to be a
Hmm.
parent. So I can only imagine going through all those things, and then now trying to balance, still work, what, taking care of yourself, taking care of your kids, right? And then
Yep.
still having the sushi bar, you know uh, running and hiring people. I mean, I don't even know, honestly, um, how entrepreneurs such as yourself balance all of that. So what started to happen during that time that brought you guys to transition, or I mean, what was going on during that time?
Yeah. Well, I left something out during that time when I owned a two sushi bar, and I
Mm-hmm.
was going through the pregnancy problem with
Mm-hmm.
my other child. I opened up a Thai restaurant as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. Okay. So
Yeah.
you were not only a sushi bar owner, you were training your husband's family members to
Uh-huh.
become sushi chef, or and owning their own business. You were struggling with your own, right, your pregnancies and the loss of a child, and in the midst of all that, you opened up. I'm shocked. You opened up a Thai restaurant. So what brought you to open up a Thai restaurant as well?
Um, my one of my cousin, she wanted, after her husband passed away, she wanted to
Mm.
own a business. So but she didn't want to do it by herself because she knows that she can't handle all of it by herself. So she asked me and
Mm.
my husband to venture with her. So we decided to,
Mm.
okay, fine. And then we ventured with her and we opened up a Thai restaurant. And then a few months into it, I found I was pregnant and all this
Oh,
things happening,
wow.
and the baby passed away, and then
Mm-hmm.
we still kept it. And
Mm-hmm.
then after I had my last baby, um, right before I had my last baby, we sold it because
Mm.
I'm like, I'm gonna have another baby. I don't think I have time because doing the two sushi bar and the Thai restaurant, I never get any sleep. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
leave at 4 in the morning and you don't get back until midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You only get like two,
Right.
3 hours sleep. For 8 years, I did that,
Oh.
and I'm like, I don't know if I could do with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to sell the Thai restaurant, and I just kept the two
Mm-hmm.
sushi bar. And then
Mm-hmm.
my daughter was born in 2005, and luckily we had my parents there, and so they were helping us taking
Mm-hmm.
care of my baby while I was working. I'm like, this is not gonna work. I never get to see
Mm-hmm.
my baby. My parents takes care of her all the time, and it is so stressful. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I just need a business that I could have more time for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was checking into all the business out there, and I came across Chick-fil-A, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, and like I remember because one of my husband's niece, they worked for Chick-fil-A, and they were
Mm-hmm.
telling me way back when I would have my sushi bar that
Mm-hmm.
maybe I should, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm very I love on people, and I'm always helping people better themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But why not work for Chick-fil-A? Because that's the culture Chick-fil-A is, right? And I pull out application like a couple of years back, but I fill it out, but it was a paper form. And then as I was cleaning my desk, I came across the Chick-fil-A application. I'm like, you know what? Let me
Mm.
check into what Chick-fil-A is really about. And so I started researching again, and it's it's a franchise, and you work too. But if you have leaders who work for you, then you can leave your business and have more
Yeah.
time for your family. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, that must be a sign from God. I've been
Mm-hmm.
asking, I've been praying, and so I've decided, why not? Just go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
fill out another application and update my information, right? But you know what? To me, I feel like maybe a couple of years back, maybe God feels that I was not strong enough to
Mm.
apply for a Chick-fil-A.
Right.
Because I think that if I applied back then, I probably would not be a Chick-fil-A owner today.
Mm.
And I needed to go through that journey in
Mm-hmm.
order to prove to Chick-fil-A how capable I am.
Mm.
And so when I started to pull the application, I came across that they no longer take um, paper application.
Mm-hmm.
They want electronic application. So I send in my form of interest, and then not even a week later, they send me an actual application and that they're interested in me and they want to
Wow.
move forward with me. And but then I'm like, they said, but the other state that you want to stay in, we don't have any available. If you
Mm.
want to stay on the wait list, it's probably
Mm-hmm.
going to be a 10 years wait. So because there are so many people in the pipeline for those states.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, if you would consider going to the Northeast region, maybe we might have something for you. So I talked to my husband. They said, well, if you go, your whole family has to go too, right? I'm like, no, you know what? How about this? Let's pause. And so at the time, my nephew, my husband's nephew-in-law, he
Mm-hmm.
has got a Chick-fil-A up in Maryland. So I want to make sure I'm very passionate. I don't want to just take off and not have any plan and not really like Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
So I told corporate, I'm like, hey, how about I go work for my nephew-in-law for a
Mm-hmm.
few months and see if I'm really passionate about Chick-fil-A. So I did. So I moved. My husband stayed in Georgia, take care of the kids, and he worked. He hold down the fort. And then I came to stay in Maryland with his nephew-in-law, and I worked for them for 3 months. And after 3 months, I called the corporate office and, hey, I think I'm ready. I think I'm passionate. I think I run this store pretty well. I'm the
Mm-hmm.
GM of this store. The numbers look really good. And I think I'm passionate. Like, I want to move forward. And I
Mm-hmm.
think I can move to this area. And
Mm-hmm.
so they said, oh, you know what? Now that you're internal, you work for a Chick-fil-A,
Oh.
the roadmap is different. And
Oh.
so,
Wow.
yeah, so I had to do a different interview. I can't be an external anymore. And so they came and interviewed me for 45 minutes at a hotel. And the two-person that came and interviewed me,
Mm-hmm.
they came back and said, we don't know if she's the right person for Chick-fil-A.
Mm.
Of course, she's a great businesswoman, but we question her leadership skills because her business is so small. She only has 10
Mm.
employees. And
Mm.
Chick-fil-A is 60 to 100 employees. And so maybe she might not be able to run our business. And
Mm.
so I went back and I said, look, how about I go run your corporate stores
Wow.
and you don't have to pay me anything. I
Wow.
just want to prove myself and I just want to
Mm.
prove to you that I'm very capable and I can lead
Mm-hmm.
that many people. And they came back and said, well, we won't make you work for free, but you have to go and interview. And if
Mm-hmm.
corporate like you and they select you to run their corporate store,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
that will either make you or break you. I'm like, okay, I just want that chance. I just want that
Mm-hmm.
opportunity. And so they allow me to go into the
Yes.
program, and I work for corporate. I run the corporate stores for 6 months. In well, not in three
Mm-hmm.
months, some
Mm-hmm.
of the corporate people came and visit me, and they're like, "Hey, we want to visit you." I'm like, "Why do you want to visit me?" Well, we want to see what you're doing. I'm like, I thought maybe I was running a bad, right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
you thought you were in trouble.
yeah, I'm like, why are you guys visiting me? And they said, we just
Mm-hmm.
want to visit you. So they came and visit me. And but when they came, they said, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing? Well,
Mm-hmm.
we want to praise you that the
Mm-hmm.
store that you were put in to run is to be shut down because it doesn't make profit. People are stealing left and right. And we were going to close the store. But you came in and you made the difference, and the store is profitable. So tell us how you did it,
Mm-hmm.
because nobody has. All the people that run our corporate
Wow.
store, always every single month they're in the negative. But since you
Mm-hmm.
took over the store, it's been in the positive. Even though yes, we're gonna close, but the store
Mm-hmm.
is in the positive, and the customer score is it's like climbing. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
know what you did. And you know what I said? Of course, it's a Chick-fil-A corporation store. Of course, all these employees are supposedly belong to corporate. It doesn't belong to
Mm-hmm.
me, but I run this store as if it was mine. I took ownership
Mm-hmm.
of the business, and I put systems in place, whereas nobody can steal money or nobody can steal
Mm-hmm.
food, because we make sure we do inventory. We make sure we count the money up to
Mm-hmm.
every
Right.
penny, and they have to show
Right.
me what we have every single day. Even though the managers are working, I make sure that they count up to the penny. And
Mm-hmm.
I also, I don't know if you would call it threaten them, but I kind of said, guys, I just want you to be upfront with you. You are warned that if I happen to put a $5
Mm-hmm.
or a $1 in your drawer, and if it doesn't come up over, then we will have a discussion, and you might not be able to work here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
From that day on forward, we are
Mm-hmm.
no missing money, and everybody did their job. And sometimes even when I leave, I don't really leave because I run a mall for corporate. So I would go sit all the way on the other end of the food court, and then I'll watch them. And then
Mm-hmm.
if when they don't take care of the
Mm-hmm.
guests, I would call them. Hey, what you guys
Mm-hmm.
doing? They say, oh, nothing. I said, are you guys busy? Oh, we're okay. I said, guys, move that line. I'm sitting here. I'm watching you guys.
Wow.
And
So wow. That's such that's I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that is such a great story because like Red mentioned here, I love how innovative and bold you are and how told yourself, I'm not going to take a no. I'm going to prove to this big company that I can
mm-hmm,
run, a corporate Chick-fil-A, and you proved yourself, right? And you went
mm-hmm,
in there and you, like you said, created systems. And as I recall, what their title is a secret shopper, a secret
mm-hmm.
observer. Like sometimes corporates do that, right? They send
Yeah.
somebody from the like the higher ups, they call it, and
Mm-hmm.
they have
Yep.
them sit and watch and observe, or be a regular customer. But
Mm-hmm.
you took that upon yourself to observe how they worked, and that without even being told, you said, I need to make sure my my company or my group of people that's working with me are going to be working.
Mm-hmm.
And so that helped your Chick-fil-A make money, and like you said, didn't lose money, and didn't go in the negative. Nobody was stealing any food or money.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 3 months in and corporate was already, shocked, right, that they were going to
Mm-hmm.
shut this Chick-fil-A down, but you're implementing these systems to help this to work because you already ran your own businesses and you already know how to make people accountable without being intrusive, right, without making people like you said, it's threatening but also warning, right, you were giving them a verbal
Mm-hmm.
warning and you were also talking to them about it. So
Mm-hmm.
with that said, after the corporate individuals visit you, what was their feedback? What did they begin to say? And I know Red has a question about how did you balance family and entrepreneurship. So I'm going to save that question till a little later because I'm still curious about your and Tatina, Red. uh I'm curious, what did they say to you at this point, 3 months in and you're changing the culture, right, of
Yeah.
this business. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they're like, we're so amazed of all the work that you've done here, and the change that
Mm-hmm.
happens here. We're just awed by what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just said, we just want to say thank you for what you do and the difference that you make in these people's lives, the
Mm-hmm.
customer and your employee. And I'm like, well,
Mm-hmm.
it's a corporate store, but yes, thank you, because I took ownership, and these employees are like my children, and my customer are
Mm-hmm.
like my guests. Like I told my team,
Mm-hmm.
hey guys, must keep our place clean, just like when you're
Mm-hmm.
home and you're expecting
Mm-hmm.
guests. You have to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that your house is clean when guests visit. Same thing here. This is your second home, and you live here longer than you live at home. So that makes a big difference. When you care, when you show that you
Mm-hmm.
care, they know. But if
Mm-hmm.
you just, if you just keep yelling at them and yelling at them, but you don't show any care, they don't care. They only care when
Mm-hmm.
you show them that you care, and then that they matter. And
That's
so,
so true. That's very
yeah.
true. When you become a leader and you want change or you want individuals to follow or to like you said, to follow guidelines and to help, like you said, make their second home like a home, you have to have that genuine care with
Mm-hmm.
your right while you instruct them. And I realize that too. I'm thinking back to a lot of my supervisors that I looked up to. I didn't work in Chick-fil-A because they didn't exist back then, but I did work at Taco Bell. And I have to say that I'm still friends with the manager and assistant manager on Facebook. And those were the qualities, definitely the qualities that kept me staying there for, almost 2 years because they cared and they were genuine and they treated the workplace as if it was their home as well, and like we were family. And and I applaud you for that because not everybody in a leadership position can do that or is willing to do that, and that's very
Mm-hmm.
admirable. So Red had asked a question, and I have so I know that we're a little bit over an hour, but I'm just gonna go ahead and finish out the last three questions. But I also want to address Red's question because I want you to tell your story. So Red asked, how did you balance family and your entrepreneurship?
Well, like they always say, behind a strong woman, there's a strong man. And
Mm-hmm.
behind a strong man, there's a strong woman, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so
Very
throughout my
true.
whole journey with Chick-fil-A,
Mm-hmm.
I have a good man who's home supporting me 100% of the way, and he is willing to take care of the kids and be the mom, be the dad while I do this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so while he's home in Georgia taking care of the kids, I'm all over the world. I'm in, I'm running
Yeah.
store, and I'm running corporate store in Owings Mills, Maryland. I'm running corporate stores in Montgomery, Pennsylvania, Quaker
Mm-hmm.
Bridgetown in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
it's everything I give credit to my husband. He was the one that support me through all this journey. If it wasn't for him, I don't think I'll be here today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
That's that's so wonderful and beautiful to hear.
yeah, so I just had a wonderful man behind me.
I really love that
So,
you said that.
hmm I wish that, I mean, I told him that he was, and, you know, he was very proud of me because it is hard. Because I
Mhm.
just want to emphasize something that our
Mhm.
Hmong men at
Mhm.
like especially a lot of the older generation, like me and my husband,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
they don't they don't give enough credit for their wives
Mhm.
because most Asian Hmong men are so jealous. They don't allow
Mhm.
their wife to exceed them. They always
Right.
want to their wife to be below them and to
Mhm.
bow to them and serve them. And they don't
Mhm.
understand that in order for your life to be successful, you need to support your wife. If guess what, if she's
Mhm.
smarter than you, help her, because
Mhm.
when she's successful, you are successful.
Mhm.
When she makes tons of money, guess what, you get to spend it. And but a lot
Yeah.
of our yeah, a lot of our Hmong men, especially in my
Mhm.
husband's age and my age, they're so jealous
Mhm.
of their wives. They don't want them to go to school and better themselves. And so as women my age, some of the women I know nowadays are still so afraid, and they still, let their husband treat
Mhm.
them below them. And you know
Mhm.
how the Hmong culture is. Women
Yes.
are looked down upon, and
Mhm.
all the men eat first, after we all slave over the food, and all the men
Mhm.
gets to eat while, because they didn't do nothing, they just sit and eat. And then
Mhm.
guess what, after they're done, the ladies eat whatever's left over, they get to eat. Guess what, if there's nothing left, we just eat the broth.
Mhm.
And I think that our generation, my generation, needs to wake up and let your woman shine through, because
Mhm.
when she shine, you shine.
Mhm.
Because even though, yes, I am the owner of my Chick-fil-A, but
Mhm.
when people ask me whose business is it, I say ours, because
Mhm.
without him, I wouldn't be who I am. He's the one that supports
Mhm.
me and encourages me. It is hard. There's sweat, blood, and tears through this journey. There's
Mhm.
many days that I
Yes.
look upon, I'm like, I'm just gonna quit. This is too hard. I miss my family. I just want to go home. And
Mhm.
he said, it's okay. Just do whatever you have
Mhm.
to do. Don't worry about us. Don't worry about the kids. I got the kids. We don't
Mhm.
we're not going through Chick-fil-A to make money. You want to be, because my mom died when I was 6. I always want to be
Mhm.
somebody that somebody look up to, and I want
Mhm.
to I want to inspire, and I want to influence and make a positive impact on someone
Mhm.
else's life. I don't, because I've been treated badly when I worked, because we're Asian. You
Mhm.
go to work, you think they're gonna treat
Mhm.
you equally?
Mhm.
No, like,
No.
because you're not white, you don't have blue eyes. Uh, when they give raises, you don't get the best raise, even though you're the hardest
Mhm.
working person there. And I feel that I can make a difference, and that I want, my team to be taken care of. And I want
Mhm.
to love on them like I've never been loved on.
Mhm.
And that's why I went to Chick-fil-A. I want to make a difference. And that's why I'm in this business. Of course, because at the time, we don't really need money, because I all my businesses, we have enough saved up, we're
Mhm.
okay, you know
Mhm.
um, so getting into Chick-fil-A is not about the money.
Mhm.
It's about making a difference and being someone that can give back to the community, if you can, and making it,
Mhm.
being the foundation for young
Mhm.
generations. Because
Mhm.
anyone that comes to work for me, I don't expect them to stay with me forever. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be the foundation to start their work ethics. I want them
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to work good with other people, all different walks of life, and learn
Mm-hmm.
to be humble about the job that they're going to get
Right.
in the future. And so I always encourage them, guys. I never expect you to stay with me, but if you want, while you're here, make the most of it. Learn as much as you can, and be a better person in your next journey or your next chapter.
Well, Kia, by you just saying that, I think that is inspiring itself because, when people go to work, most of the time people go and just collect a check, right, to pay bills. They don't they don't usually come across a leader, a boss, or somebody who is inspiring like yourself, who says,
Mm-hmm.
"Hey, I want to lay a foundation for you. I want to help you be a better person." So that when you do leave, because you already made it known that when you work here, I want you to have these skills. I want you to learn this, like you said, taking care of this second workplace like your own home, and then building that, right, like you said, for the
Mm-hmm.
youths or anybody that works in your business right now, and then
Right.
having them build that and have it as a great experience, like you said, foundation to move forward in whatever they want to do. And any boss, any supervisor of any level, if you teach like that, like what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
of course, like I just think, like, of course they're going to feel cared for, respected. They're going to feel acknowledged, worthy. And I think that that's so valuable when it comes down to being, an owner, business owner, an entrepreneur. And I really do hope that anybody who's watching this, who will watch this, or who is watching this now, can see that, because we do need to lay a foundation, a healthy one, for our future generation, and anyone that comes across our business, so that they can go out there and be the best person they can be. And
Mm-hmm.
that is truly, I think, a leader. So I just want to ask you, a couple more questions, and thank you for sharing so much of this. And I hope that this will definitely inspire other people, because your journey is a very unique and special one. So you did mention, on a personal note, that your husband did pass away of lymphoma cancer back in 2017. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you would like to share your story about that, you can. If you would like to say, let's move to the next couple last questions, I'm okay with that too. Um, and just for the audience to know that all these questions that I'm asking, Kia knows about all of them. So, but I want to make sure that always, that all my guests and everybody that's talking about their lives, that they're okay, that they will have you know um, in the therapist world, right, that you will have support emotionally, and friends and family to help you get, um, you know, I would say, get through this if you were to relive it, right? So if you would like to talk about what your experience was like when your husband passed away, because you said that you owe everything to him. He was the one that helped you explore this opportunity with Chick-fil-A, and he took care of the kids and everything. And so, if you would like to share with us how you managed your business, family, now that you've lost your husband, and you're even a grandmother now, um, what did you say to yourself? What were, like I said, principles and models and inspiration you kept yourself going? Because it does take an extremely strong person, uh, you know, to move yourself forward, because grieving for any kind of loss on any level is very difficult. Um, if you could share with the audience, with our viewers, our family, friends, what helped you get through that?
Okay. Yeah. So December of 2016, my husband started having sensitive
Mm-hmm.
and weakness in his leg. So we went to the hospital, and they told him that he probably had
Mm-hmm.
tuberculosis. And so they put him in the hospital, and they gave him steroid, and eventually he was able to stand up. And so they thought that was it. They never checked into anything else. They sent him to rehab. The end of
Mm-hmm.
February, he came home. He stayed 2 months in the hospital. In February, the end of February, he came home, and then April, he went back to the hospital and they told him he had stage 4 lymphoma cancer. And so,
Wow.
you know, I was in denial. He looks fine. He's just paralyzed,
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so they said, your husband's going to die in 3 to 6 months. I'm like, no way. He looks great. He looks great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's just paralyzed. He just can't move. Um, I can't believe that a person that's talking to me every day with full strength would die. And he was
Mm-hmm.
strong all the way. 3 months to the day, they told us that
Wow.
day he just didn't wake up, and he was talking to us the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. And I still didn't believe that he was going to die that day, but that day he died. And he died July 18th, 2017. It'll be 4 years coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very hard. It was
Mm-hmm.
very, very hard. Um, I was depressed
Mm-hmm.
for a good year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I realized, I was so heartbroken. And because I live for my husband, I'm a Hmong wife, even though, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I might be having a business and might be more educated or whatever. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what? At the end of the day, I am still a Hmong wife. I still
Mm-hmm.
cook with big pots and big pans, and I still,
Yes.
uh, I still eat after the man,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
and so every day I still cook him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then after he died, I didn't know what to do with my life. I woke up and I didn't know my purpose. I'm like, well, I was a mom. Well, I still am a mom. I'm so
Mm-hmm.
crazy. I talk to myself all the time like this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still a mom. I was a friend. I was a wife. I was a lover. And I'm a provider. What happened? Like, in overnight, my life has shattered. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know my purpose because being married since 17, I know my
Mm-hmm.
purpose. My purpose to get up, take
Mm-hmm.
care of my husband, take care of
Mm-hmm.
my kids, go to work, come home, and do the same
Mm-hmm.
thing over and over, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when
Mm-hmm.
he died, I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't even know myself because I've never, as a Hmong person, as a Hmong girl, we were not important to
Mm-hmm.
our
Mm-hmm.
parents because we were girls. Because they always value the boys more. And I guess a lot of us Hmong girl, we had to fight for our parents' love.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I just didn't know what to do myself. That's why I said that my last child was a blessing by God. If I didn't have
Mm-hmm.
her, I don't know if I would wake up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't have Chick-fil-A, I don't know if I would wake up because I very depressed. I go everywhere. I was crying. Uh, and and guess what? I should be consulting my baby, but in turn, my baby's consulting me. And
Mm-hmm.
she would sleep with me and I would cry and
Mm-hmm.
she would say, Mom,
Mm-hmm.
you need to stop crying. Dad would not like to see you crying all the time. He would love to see you happy. And I'm like, this 12, 13-year-old girl is giving me
Mm-hmm.
a console, and I'm not.
That
And
advice, yeah.
yeah, she's giving me advice to stop crying.
She's
And
consoling you. Yeah, she's
yeah,
saying,
she's
"Mom, be
consoling me all the
strong."
time. And
You know, Dad wouldn't want this.
yeah, Dad wouldn't want you to be crying all the time. Dad
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't want you to be happy. He would want you to be
Mm-hmm.
smiling. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that that can help. And he had to go to heaven. So, you just have to be happy and try not to cry all the time. And I would go to his work, and as soon as I get to work, because he worked for me for the past
Mhm.
6 years before he died, he worked for me. He was my
Mm.
maintenance person, and he was my
Mhm.
landscaping person. Oh, after he died, it's
Mhm.
like everything died with him. It's like when I went to the
Mm.
store, all the equipment that he used to fix all died. And we had
Mm.
to find people to come fix it. The landscaping, I didn't know where to begin. We had to go
Mhm.
find people to come cut grass. And then
Mhm.
at home, I don't know how to cut grass, because he always, as like, I'm always going back to the Hmong wife, but that's how they separate us.
Mhm.
He said, anything outside the house is my job,
Mhm.
and anything inside of the house is your job. And
Mhm.
so he never let me cut the grass. I don't know how to start a
Mhm.
lawnmower. After he died, and then I went to cut my grass.
Mm.
That was the hardest time. I tried to start the
Mm.
lawnmower. I couldn't. I looked up at YouTube. I couldn't. So I just sat there and I just cry. I just cry. And then eventually
Oh.
I just hired people to do my lawn.
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm glad. I was gonna say, what happened to the lawn? Sometimes you just have to hire people that know what they're doing, especially when it comes to landscaping and maintenance and stuff like that. Because absolutely, because I can't fix it. Yeah, I can't really mow lawn either. But when your significant other passes on and they take care of everything, and you're used to that, right? They automatically take care of it,
yeah.
just like how you would take care of your own things. Then you like you said, you made the effort. You try to YouTube it, you try to learn it, but you realize that, okay, I just need to hire someone to go do it because it's not
Yeah.
going to get done correctly.
That's
um
true.
and thank you so much for sharing that. And this is something that I want to emphasize with the viewers, family, friends, and anybody that's watching, is that everybody has a story that is very hard. Like I said, people have gone through, such as yourself, Kia. Even though we may own a business, make lots of money, had a wonderful life with the significant other, with kids, or our children, that we all have this, right, crazy journey that we go through, and we don't really
Mm-hmm.
know how it's gonna end. We don't really know how it's gonna work out. But what it looks like, or it looked like, is that you cherished every moment. You made the best of everything. And you got married with an arranged marriage. And you guys learned, like you said in the beginning, to be friends. You learned to bond. You became partners to take care of your first child. And it grew from there. You became business partners, as
Mm-hmm.
you shared. And
Yeah.
you even went to college, and you went through this whole journey of finding yourself. And he was there the whole time. Like you said, um, when he was needed to be a wife, a mom, and a husband, and everything else, caretaker, he was able to do that. He was willing to do that. And you're
Mm-hmm.
right, is that when you become partners, and you allow, and you don't compete with your wife, or you don't compete with your husband, and you
Mm-hmm.
work together,
Right.
you, like you said, when you're successful like you are now, you not only have, like you said, the business, it's both of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I hope that message goes out to everybody today, of any generation, your generation, my generation, younger generation, that it takes a partnership, right? It takes a team, as in you and your husband, you use significant other, to make it work, and to allow, like you said, if one is academically smart or is more business inclined, that if they move forward with you. So I really love that message. And I hope that anybody that watches this can hear that message and know that, yes, Kia is the only Hmong woman that I know of, and I'm sure a lot of people don't know, that have owned and is still in charge of a Chick-fil-A that makes millions of dollars. But it's not without, like you said, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, and pain. And I hope that everybody knows that, we all go through things to get to where we are, and it makes who we are today. And I want to again commend you, applaud you for will be willing to share this story with my project platform. And that's my dream and hope, is that um, everybody that comes through this platform can share a real life true story, because I think a lot of people only see the outside. Like, they see the
Mm-hmm.
pictures of Hawaii, they see the pictures of, you driving a car, or I'm driving a car, or we're doing all these great things, but they don't see the backstory, right? They don't know
Right.
what were the hurdles and barriers that got you to that point.
Right.
So I want to emphasize that for everybody, that there's always sacrifice, and there's always things that happen that makes us stronger, that helps us see things. And like you said, your husband helped you be the kind of business owner that, or to be the woman that you are today. And we need more Hmong men and women out there to be, like you said, what you guys were,
Mm-hmm.
to be how you guys are today, so that your children and the future children can see that. So with this, I would like to, and I don't want you to end your story. I still want to listen, but I know that we are like at 1 minute and an hour and 35. Now I want to respect everybody's time and your time, because I know it's 7:40 here, but it's 3 hour difference. So just let everybody know you are still in Virginia, so it's late over there. So I just want everybody to know that,
Oh,
you
that's
were taking
fine.
your
I'm
time,
up
and
late
again, I want to
anyway.
really thank you. So,
No, my
um,
pleasure.
if there are words of encouragement and inspiration that you would like to share with the community today, with viewers, and anyone that says, "I want to start a business. I want to be like Kia. I want to, be a millionaire one day. I want to pursue my dreams, my goals, and my passions." What are some words of encouragement and inspiration that you would like to share with those today?
Well, my word of encouragement is if you want something, reach for the stars. Don't give up. Doesn't matter how hard or how many obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue, you will persevere. But if you get to an obstacle and a roadblock and you give up, you'll never reach your dream. So don't ever give up on your dream or your dream of the American dream. Do not ever give
Mm-hmm.
up. Work hard, support each other, love on each other. Don't forget, don't take each other for granted, and live life to the fullest every single day, because you are not guaranteed tomorrow. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all I have to say. If you believe in yourself and you want something bad enough, it will happen, because you're going to work hard. Like I said, you're going to cry, you're going to sweat, blood, and tears to in order to get
Yeah.
there. And I've been there, I've done that. And
Mm-hmm.
I've persevered. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard losing the person that you love, your life partner, the father of your child or your children, and your
Mm-hmm.
business partner. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
someday, like I said, I feel like I lost it all. But then someday I think
Mm-hmm.
about my life and I am so very, very blessed, because even though God took my
Mm-hmm.
husband, he still did not leave me
Mm-hmm.
hungry. And I looked at my
Mm-hmm.
sometimes very sad, and I looked at other people that I know that lost their husband, and they're in worse
Mm-hmm.
situation than I am. And so just remember that
Mm-hmm.
whatever you do, just thank God for whatever you have or for today. If he give you life, if he give you air to breathe again another
Mm-hmm.
day, just thank him. Continue to ask him what you want,
Mm-hmm.
because you have a whole treasure that needs to be opened. God give you every one of us a whole chest of treasure. You just have to ask, and you just have
Mm-hmm.
to walk toward that path. If you don't, he don't just hand it to you. You have to ask for and
Yes.
believe in your dream. It will happen. Don't just do
Mm-hmm.
these quick, don't hear about these quick, get rich quick scheme, and you're going to think that
Mm-hmm.
that's it and I'm going to get rich from there. It doesn't work. You have to work hard to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
And just
Mm-hmm.
remember that during the process, if you're going through want to get rich one day, work together, love each other, because at the end of the day, when you reach the money part, money don't mean nothing
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have
Mm-hmm.
everyone in your life. So it's just a matter of how you define rich. You can have no money, but you can be very rich. That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Kia, those are very wise words from experience and from the beautiful person that you are. Thank you so much for your time. And I can tell you right now that I'm definitely inspired, and I hope that anybody that watches this will know that you are definitely a role model and a strong Hmong woman that I think we can definitely look up to. And I want to truly thank you from the bottom of my heart that you were willing to share your story. And I hope that this will inspire, our future generations, our community, and our youths, and anyone that wants to pursue, becoming an entrepreneur or being a business owner. So thank you so much, Kia. Um, it's been wonderful talking with you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please continue to support our Hmong community members and anybody out there who wants to become, business owners. Support one another. Like Kia said, be there for each other. You know, no, there's no promise for tomorrow, right? And you never know what will happen. So thank you so much,
My
everybody.
pleasure.
Have a
And
good night.
if I can help
Okay.
anybody in any
Thank you.
way,
Mhm.
you guys know where to find me on Google.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So Google, Kia Yang's name, and trust me, it will come up and it'll tell you the address and where she's at. And thank you for offering your mentorship and your friendship to people who would like to be, successful like yourself. And I hope that people do reach out, because we definitely do need a lot of, mentors in our community to help guide our younger generation and our people to, like Mohai Duga Ba Ming Na Yao.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so
Yeah.
much. All right.
Yeah. John,
Okay. Thank you,
always
Kia.
open to
Have a
Shana.
good night, everybody.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Good night.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
My
Thank you.
pleasure. All right. If you need anything, let me know.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. I will.
Okay.
Thank you. Same
Yeah.
here.